Oh, these outfits of the past, gorgeous jewelry and marvelous fabrics. It would seem that everything has already been said and written about the closet and jewelry of the Romanovs, but not so. The staff of the State Hermitage Museum reminded us of a wonderful event of the last century, the Costume Ball of 1903. How many fabulous costumes from the era of the 16th, 17th centuries were sewn for the grand event. However, I have already written about the outfits and decorations of the sensational ball. And now, 118 years later, one of the dresses, embroidered with gorgeous pearls, as if sent us a greeting from the past, and shared another piece of those times. It was as if it sent an invisible greeting from the last Tsar of Russia and his sister, Grand Duchess Ksenia Alexandrovna. When the artist-restorer Galina Fedorova wanted to take the dress of the 17th century Russian boyarina for the next restoration, she suddenly found in the sleeve of the golden garment, dotted with expensive jewelry, a snack from 1903, a fudge candy, which the Grand Duchess, to all appearances, had taken a bite of right at the famous ball. But she didn't finish it, and there was nowhere to throw it away. So she decided to hide it temporarily in the sleeve of her gorgeous dress. The candy was forgotten and even remained edible, having lain in a stash of fabric for more than 100 years. The restorer Galina Georgievna and her colleague Nina Ivanovna Tarasova, who works as a keeper of the costume fund in the Department of the History of Russian Culture, told the world about this amazing find. When the women began to examine the fabric of the costume, Galina Georgievna found a small object in the long, flying sleeve of the summer suit that looked like a rounded pebble. And following the call of intuition, she tasted the find on her tongue. It turned out to be sweet. What a miracle, a candy, and even with teeth marks. Even goosebumps on the skin. It seems as if long-ago events of the beginning of the last century came closer to us, transported in a flash to the 21st century. Once again, I will remind about the very costume of Ksenia Alexandrovna, because it strikes the imagination of the royal luxury. Memories of the husband of Nicholas his sister's spouse, Grand Duke Alexander Mikhailovich, have been preserved. He noted that he himself dressed in the masquerade dress of a falconer. A white kaftan embroidered with gold, a silk shirt of pink palette, blue trousers and boots made of Saffiano cloth of yellow color looked like from a picture. The outfit was complemented by a hat decorated with a large brooch with a gem in a scattering of transparent diamonds. His wife, Ksenia Alexandrovna, overshadowed the snow-white kaftan of the falconer with her sunny attire. Boyarina's outfit, decorated with handmade gold embroidery, was dotted with jewelry delights, and in all probability it weighed a lot. The kokoshnik of unearthly beauty with a pearl net, shining with myriads of snow-white pearl drops, purple drops of bright spinel, and separate inserts of Zedlany semi-precious stones, has not survived to our days. But you can always admire it in the expositions of the Hermitage. Satin shimmers with delicate gold, and its decoration with velvet pattern is simply mesmerizing. Embroidery with gold threads looks aristocratic, really rich. And what kind of a collar, a braid, a marvelous marvel. Myriads of pearl threads descended on the shoulders of the Grand Duchess. On top of the whole composition, she wore a rather bulky necklace with rubies, or spinel, and sorceress emeralds. The collar was crowned with a conspicuous choker made of several strands of large pearls. In front of the image of such a noblewoman, and Tsarevna Swan herself would fade, so good was it. It seems as if the owner of the dress herself decided to remind about herself through the ages by sending the Hermitage staff that very candy. As contemporaries recalled, Ksenia Alexandrovna's husband was an extremely ambitious man, and his wife was just like him, with a temper and love of luxury. Although their marriage could not be called happy, the princess adored her husband, and she recognized no other authority. Of course, as a woman with a proud temperament and royal blood, she could not imagine her own life without expensive stones, gold and diamonds. But do they give love, respect, and peace of mind. When life forced her to flee to Great Britain, the sister of Nicholas Curie had to sell almost all the jewelry that had survived in order to support herself, her husband, to teach her beloved sons. Husband spent every last pound. Besides, she didn't know how to sell jewelry. Once, when the princess thought of selling the marvelous pearls, she was deceived by a Jewish merchant. The intruder persuaded his assistant to secretly rob the careless lady. Thus, the money and jewelry remained in the wrong hands. The case came out loud. Ksenia Alexandrovna herself acted as a witness. And all British newspapers broke the news about the unsuccessful deal Russian aristocrat. Well, she wanted fame, and she got it. And from the former greatness of life in Russia, alas, there is no trace.